Hey, what's up? We're Beach Fossils, and this is Turn TV.
Anyway, so I guess I'm a big fan of the band Air, and they just came out with a remix record done by the producer Vegan, and it's pretty awesome because I've been listening. It was for the record Moon Safari, so that was pretty special because I've been listening to Moon Safari for so many years, and then when he recently came out with this remix, it's been in my playlist, and it's very good for travel and everything too. And this whole journey, it's gonna be, I think, a companion for me for this tour we're doing right now. So yeah, I love that record, the remix record he did with Air.
I think one of my favorite recent albums is the new Jessica Pratt record called Hearing the Pitch. It's simple, but I feel like there's, more instrumentation than her last couple records. It kind of has like a bit of almost like a tiki exotica kind of vibe to it. That's so something to listen to.
There's an album that Dean Blunt and Alias from Ice Age put out together. It's so good. Also, Vegan did some production work on that as well. And it's so good. It's just an EP, but it's like every song on it is so perfect. I can just listen to it on repeat over and over.
I gotta give a shout out to our friends Bar Italia. I think I've been listening to a lot of Bar Italia lately. The things they released are really nice, and they're working on new music as well. Excited to do that.
Oh man, well I guess I'll say just came out as a 30th anniversary for this record last month. It's Radiohead, The Bends, and obviously, what else do you need to say about Radiohead? But that album was huge for me, like middle school, high school, and kind of like growing up with that record, and obviously Johnny Greenwood as a guitarist and everything. That's big inspiration for me. So yeah, I would say absolutely Radiohead, The Bends is one of the top ones for me.
I think maybe mine would be like Bjork's Oh My God. I think nothing, it's just nothing sounded like it to me at the time. It kind of opened me up to different worlds of music that I didn't know existed at the time, like electronic music and some orchestral music. Yeah, just like opened me up to other sounds.
Mine's gotta be Velvet Underground Loaded, because when I was growing up, I only listened to metal and punk music and stuff that was like really heavy. And when I started getting more and more into punk, I kept reading about Velvet Underground, and I was like, I gotta listen to Velvet Underground. And so I got Loaded, and I was like, it was like the first music I got into that like wasn't heavy. And I was like, this is so good. Like, the songwriting is amazing, the production is so cool, the lyrics were really like, it was like everything I needed to hear when I heard it, and it just like changed my life.
I'm gonna go with Methodrone, Brian Johnstown Massacre. When I was a kid, I saw the documentary Dig, and I feel like since then I've probably seen it 300 times. And I had a lot of anxiety going through school and all this stuff, and it was one of the things that kind of opened me up to, I don't know, just feel comfortable in my relationships and get into music and, kind of separate myself from all my anxieties about like, oh, what am I gonna be when I grow up and all this. I just stopped caring.
Oh man, let's see, this, I guess one of the, I'll try to do the abridged version of this one here. I was in Pennsylvania at a festival, a big festival that was taking place in the early 2000s. Bands like Nickelback, bands like Alien Ant Farm, bands like Outkast. There's a whole variety of artists playing the festival, and I was going with my family, and there's this fun family trip, and it was like rain, it was muddy, it almost felt like this crazy Woodstock '99 experience. And so it was a very interesting baptism into music culture, live music culture, because it was probably one of the more intense ways I could experience it for the first time. And my brother they're fans of it as well, in that band POD, if you know what that band is. Yeah, was playing. I can't leave this out. Yeah, so basically they were in the front row area in this like large barricades with, we'll say up to 50,000 people. I was with my dad in the very back, watching the jumbotrons, and in the very final song of the entire festival, POD was headlining the event, closing out the festival. They played one of the songs called Youth of the Nation, and my brother went on stage with them and sang the lyrics with them to the final lyrics of the final notes of the song. Yeah, my brother being like 9 at the time, and I didn't realize it was happening until I looked at the jumbotron and saw my brother go on the stage. So in front of 50,000 people. So that was a crazy first experience I've ever had. But yes, I got the bug, I guess, at that point. Yeah, the live music bug from that. That was interesting. Interesting experience to say the least.
My first concert ever was Chuck Mangione. He's like a smooth jazz trumpet player. Because I played trumpet growing up, and my dad liked that concert. But it's funny because I remember going to the drummer after the show, and then it sounded like the drums were so cool, and I got his business card because I wanted to learn how to play drums after the show.
I think my first show was actually my parents' band. They had a band together, like in the late 80s and the early 90s. They never put out a record or toured or anything, but they used to practice in the basement of our house when we were growing up. So I just grew up around loud music in the house all the time. And then they would do house parties, and they would set up a little stage in the backyard, and they would just play shows and invite all their friends. And there's a really funny picture of a cop that came to tell them to turn off the music, and my dad's screaming in the cop's face. It's a pretty awesome picture of that. But yeah, my parents used to take my sister and I to shows growing up. They took us to this really cool festival, and Butthole Surfers were playing, and Wesley Willis was playing, and yeah, just stuff like that. My parents had eclectic taste in alternative music.
I think, so my first show was supposed to be at a music festival. My mom took me to Bumbershoot in Seattle, and I really wanted to see the Pixies. And because I've been listening to Surfer Rosa, the record, and I forgot to get a wristband for the main stage. So I literally cried. I was crying because I was like, that's all I wanted to see. So I was like, okay, well, what can we go see instead of the Pixies? And we trickled into this indoor venue and saw a little band called The Killers on their first. So that was technically my first concert. The Killers. Shout out to the Killers.
Yeah.
I guess I'll speak to this point again that Jack was mentioning already, but as far as a band, I think that I love all the influences they're pulling from, and they're adding their own fresh, unique kind of fingerprint too. I think it's really awesome. It's Bar Italia. I think I love all the sonic palette they're pulling from, and all the arrangements they're pulling from and stuff. So I think that one, as far as a contemporary influence, or one that I think is really fresh in my mind right now, especially as an artist or just a listener, is Bar Italia.
Creator.
Content creator, TikTok.
That's for beats.
Yeah. You're listening, man. I want to do some crazy shit.
The boy that we were just talking about.
But you can take it to the director's spot.
Maybe someone who's cryogenically frozen, you bring them back to life and you work with them.
I don't know, maybe someone in kind of a world that's different than mine, the electronic world or something, Richard E. James or something. Someone who I don't understand how they make their music.
My favorite book is The Tao Te Ching.
I know both of these.
Specifically a translation by Stephen Mitchell. I've read this book hundreds of times. There were some days where I would read this book 3 or 4 times a day because it's a short read. And it completely changed my life. It's changed my perspective on pretty much everything. It's made me, I think, a better artist and a better person. And I think everyone in the world could benefit from reading it.
Movie.
Do I do movies?
We can say it at the same time.
What's my favorite movie?
You said it to me countless times. Well, that's up there.
What is it?
John Carpenter.
Oh, Halloween?
Halloween.
Halloween? Yeah, I have a few favorite movies. Halloween is definitely up there, and so is Muppets Christmas Carol. It's one of the best movies
And
of all
Paddington
time. Yeah, Paddington. They're killing it.
It's the best. I've never seen it. There's a good venue in New York called the Hancock. It's not really a venue, but it's more of like a house. It's an old 1800s built house that they're starting to have concerts and events at the house.
It's in,
really freeing and
in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn.
Bed-Stuy. And, yeah, I like that place a lot.
The New York punk scene of the 1970s. It's gotta be. It's just like all my favorite music was happening during that time. If I could go back and if I could see even just like one artist, if I could go back and see Suicide perform, that would just like make my life. Thanks for watching Turn TV. We're Beach Fossils.
Bye-bye.